Hey guys, happy Thursday. We are continuing on in our journey through the solar system. We've talked about the bigger objects, inner and outer planets, the last 2 weeks. This week, we're all about the smaller objects in our solar system. We've talked about the different belts and the clouds. We've talked about dwarf planets, which are the smaller planets. And we've talked about the comets and the asteroids. So today we are talking about the different forms of meteors. Okay, there are three different forms of meteors. There's a meteoroid, a meteor, and a meteorite. They're all just kind of the same word, but different forms. Okay, so hopefully by the end of today, you should be able to explain what the three are and how they're different. So we're going to kind of do the same thing that we've been doing the last 2 days. Hopefully that's worked well for you. We are going to be taking some notes on this document while I go through the different MobiMaxes. So you can see the first thing that you're going to be doing is you're going to be writing a description and then copying and pasting a picture. Just remember, go up here to insert and then image. Let me show you, insert image, and then you can search the web. If something doesn't come up, you can go to a new tab and search and copy and paste the picture in there. Okay, but to move on to MobiMax, remember, just to recap, asteroid, rocky object, comet has a tail. It's made up of ice and gas. Dwarf planet is a spherical, smaller planet, usually round, usually a pretty close to regular shape, but it doesn't clear the path of its orbit. So it's going to be bumping into asteroids, comets, meteors. It follows the same orbit they do. Remember, as of everything right now, orbits the sun, not the Earth, because remember, we are a heliocentric model of the universe where it orbits the sun. Okay, so today we are getting into meteors and the different forms of meteors. So here we go. There are some objects in space that orbit the sun that are even smaller than asteroids. So first fact about a meteor or meteoroid or meteorite is that they're smaller than asteroids. Remember, asteroids are much smaller than Earth's moon as well, so meteors are even smaller. A meteor is a body of rock or dust that is smaller than an asteroid. Most meteors are pieces of rock that come from an asteroid. Meteors can be as big as or as small as a grain of sand or as big as a boulder. Okay, so it could be a pretty decent size, or it could be teeny tiny where you can't even see it. If you look at the image, I love these. We actually had a meteor shower last week, a couple nights where you could see different meteors in the sky, but many people might call this a shooting star, but it's actually a meteoroid burning up to create a meteor in Earth's atmosphere. To review what we learned when we were still in class together, the mesosphere burns up the meteors. So that's where we see the shooting stars in the mesosphere, because most meteors do not get to Earth's surface because of the mesosphere. Remember, the atmosphere protects us. So it says sometimes meteoroids enter Earth's atmosphere. Meteoroids move very fast, and the friction between the rock and the air creates heat and produces a bright streak of light. This creates a meteor. A meteor is a rocky body that burns as it moves through the atmosphere of a planet. Meteors often produce bright streaks of light in the sky. People often call meteors shooting stars. However, they're actually pieces of meteoroids that are burning up in the atmosphere before they reach Earth's surface. Okay, so we have a meteor which is out far in space. Okay, as it goes through the atmosphere, it becomes a meteor. It's meaning it's burning up, it's creating a tail, it's seeing a shooting star. So a meteor is going to be a shooting star, and it's that rocky piece of a meteoroid burning up. And then we have the last one, meteorite. Most meteors burn up in the atmosphere, but some meteors do not burn up completely and they reach Earth's surface. A meteorite is a meteoroid that reaches the surface of a planet. Meteorites can leave craters on the Earth's surface from their impacts. Okay, so you can see the image. That's a meteorite that fell in Brazil. Okay, so we have meteoroids, and then as they enter Earth's atmosphere, they burn up. They're a meteor shower, shooting star. And then if they get through Earth's atmosphere and they hit Earth's surface, it's going to, or any planet's surface, doesn't have to be Earth, any planet's surface, they're a meteorite. Meteor showers on Earth occur when Earth orbits through an area with many meteors. Meteor showers occur every year when Earth passes through certain areas. So it says during some meteor showers, people can observe up to 100 meteors in an hour. So we have 3 words, can be very confusing. but they're basically the same object just going through different parts of the atmosphere. So we have a meteoroid, which is not in our atmosphere yet, it's out there, body of rock or dust. As it's entering the atmosphere, we have a meteor, which is that rocky body that burns up, usually produces a tail because it's burning through and traveling fast. And then if it escapes our atmosphere and gets into our surface of the earth, it becomes a meteorite. So meteorite is going to be on the surface of the earth. Okay? All right, so you are going to I'll show you. This animation shows how the same rocky body changes from a meteoroid to a meteor and then finally into a meteorite. The rocky body begins as a meteoroid orbiting the space. As it enters the Earth's atmosphere, the friction between the air and the atmosphere and the meteor's rocky surface causes the meteor to change to a meteor. The meteor sends a flash of light across the sky. When small chunks of the meteor fall to Earth's surface, they are called meteorites. So if you watch this video, it's a meteoroid. As it's going through the atmosphere, it's burning up into a meteor, and then once it hits the surface, it's a meteorite. Usually by the time it hits Earth's surface, it is very, very tiny to where we don't have much of an impact. Okay, so watch this animation, meteor, as it's traveling through the atmosphere. Once it hits the atmosphere, it's going to burn up, meteor, and then once it hits the Earth's surface, it's now a meteorite. Okay, all right, so you're going to go back to your document, and I think you have the ability to fill in everything on this document. So the description, the picture, and then the check for understanding. We're going to check our answers here in a little bit, but we have A, we have B, and then C. Okay, so once you get to the check for understanding, stop. So go ahead and pause the video and do A, B, and C. All right, go ahead and do that now. All right, guys, we are back. Hopefully you were able to fill those in pretty easily, or at least rewind the video and find the answers. So let's check your answers. All right, you should come up with a description in the picture, but we're going to check for understanding. We're going to check our answers for those. So a blank is a body of rock or dust that is smaller than an asteroid and orbiting the sun. Okay, so remember, the far out in space is the meteoroid. As it's moving through the atmosphere, it's burning, so it's a meteor. That's what causes the shooting star, is the meteor showers. And then a meteorite is created when it actually reaches the surface of a planet. Okay, very good. Yes or no, do you think that meteorites can also be found on the surfaces of other planets such as Mars? Okay, the correct answer is yes. If I had to make a guess, I would assume that Mars probably has more meteorite damage or more meteorites found on Mars than Earth does because it is closer to the end of the atmosphere. Now, can we probably see meteorites on Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, or Neptune? No, because they don't technically have a surface. Okay, so Mars is probably the first one that you can see meteorites on. Okay, so you can see this is an iron meteorite found on the surface of Mars. It's about the size of a basketball. Okay, they do cause craters though, because think of how fast they're going. Okay, so any kind of impact is going to be fast. So check for understanding. A meteoroid is a body of rock or dust that is smaller than an asteroid. Meteor is a body of rock or dust from space that burns as it moves through a planet's atmosphere. A meteorite is a meteoroid that reaches the surface of a planet. And then a meteor shower occurs when the Earth orbits through an area with many meteors. Okay. All right, so I want you to go back to the bottom of this document, and I want you, it says you and your friend are observing the sky at night. You see a bright streak of light flash across the sky. Your friend says it's a star from another solar system shooting in the sky. You know that she's wrong. What do you tell her? You should have said something about it's not a star, it's not a planet, it's a meteor burning up through our atmosphere. That is what's causing the bright streak of light flash across the sky. So to check for understanding, before we get into the review for the week, to check for understanding, I want you to go ahead and summarize the difference between a meteor, a meteorite, and a meteoroid. So pause the video, summarize the difference using your notes from up here. So go ahead and pause the video now, and I'll see you guys in a minute. All right, we are back. So hopefully you were able to summarize the difference between the three. They're all a rocky body, but a meteoroid's out in space orbiting the sun. Meteor is when it's burning up in the atmosphere, and meteorite when it reaches the surface. Okay, so to finish out our journey through the smaller objects in the solar system, we have a quick review. So I have, I think, 6 questions, so not many. 6 questions that I want you to take your time and answer. So it says highlight the correct answer. Go back into your notes for this week to answer the questions. If it's on meteoroid, meteor, meteorite, it's going to be found here. Comets and asteroids was yesterday's assignment, and then dwarf planets was the assignment. Tuesday's assignment. So go ahead and just highlight the correct answer. All right. And I will come back on tomorrow. I'm going to look at these answers today. And we're going to come back on tomorrow and talk about them together and finish out these objects. All right, so go ahead before you click share, mark as done, turn in, answer these 6 questions, and you may use your notes to do so. I'm going to be grading these as you start submitting them. All right, let me know if you have any questions, guys. Have a good rest of your day.